Now, we've had a customer call in, they've scheduled a rental, and now they're here to actually pick it up. So in this example, we're going to go through how to deliver the parts to the customer and get the rental invoice cashed out so that they can take the items with them. So the first step, believe it or not, is not to go create an invoice. The first step is to actually locate the customer that we're working with. To do that, we're going to go to Invoicing, Locate Contact, and we're going to select the customer that we had rented something for in a previous video. So we're just going to select this customer, and we're going to come down here to our rental schedule. Now again, I don't want to go through digging trying to find what this customer rented, because they may have more than one item and it would take a while for me to go doing that. The quickest way to rent the item is to just come right here and say View Current Contacts Rentals. This will give me a list of things that they have scheduled to rent. And to create the invoice for this particular item, all I'm going to do is select this icon here, and if you point to it, it'll actually show you create invoice for this rental, and that will actually do all the work for me. It attaches the unit of the proper model and creates the invoice. So we are ready now to actually rent this item out. Now at this point, I or someone in the dealership or in the rental company is going to actually go pick a VIN number or a serial number that I'm going to give to this customer. So if I'm using scan tags, the system does support scan tags with respect to the rental. In this example, let's just say that we go in here and select to add a unit. Now, if I'm going to add a unit, I can add a unit that isn't even on the schedule for that particular customer. And like I said in the previous video about how important the schedule is, if I do that, it's perfectly okay, but Lizzy is going to go and add the item to the schedule for me anyway. So there's really no way around getting around that schedule, and the primary reason that it works that way is to make sure that all of the items that we're scheduling are available and that other people haven't already reserved them. So in this example, I selected the model number that we actually had. So now we have a VIN number that we're actually giving the customer. We have the number of hours for the duration, and we have what the rate is, and we can override the rate if we want. Now, obviously, before we let them go, we want to actually allow them to or not allow them, we're going to collect a deposit from them for that particular rental. And by the same token, if we wanted to edit the rental, we can edit it here to change the duration or the hours. It works just like it did on the schedule earlier. So in this case, I'm going to jump over here to the totals page, and we're going to create a deposit for this particular ticket. So we're just going to tell it to deposit that we want to get a deposit. Now, at this particular point, you can see that there's no deposit required when we set up the rental periods, so I can collect a deposit for anything I want to. Now, in the event that I actually had a rental deposit required, it'll already fill out what the amount of the deposit is. Now, all Lizzy is really doing right now is recording a liability for that customer. There's no sale or anything going on at this particular point. We're just collecting money that's going to be used when they bring the unit back later. This invoice will actually stay open until they return with the rental, so that we can go in and collect the money and close everything out with that deposit that we're collecting at this point.